And good day, everyone. Today is July 18th, 2023. Thank you, everyone on the social sites that have held on for these first 10 minutes at the end of last week's session of the Pineal Gland, week number 1. I went into the end where we would actually be doing maybe a first 10 minutes on our private Zoom. So to iterate that, anyone that would like to join in on our private Zoom calls is more than welcome to go over to freedomsnap.org/Seth. There are all the links over there, including the private Zoom link. There's also a link that you can click on to add the calendar event onto your device so that you're notified on future sessions that we have here. And this is week number 2. So we're back into the pineal gland. And I don't think I missed anything. We do these weekly every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. And we look forward to having everyone on board. So we left off with, I did quick little 10-minute session. I wanted to provide everyone on the Zoom call with a little educational clip that I found with the Rewired series on Gaia with Dr. Joe Dispenza going into the pineal gland along with the spinal column, the spinal fluid, going into the cave where that holds the pituitary gland, the pineal gland, and pushing the fluid up the spinal column into that cave. And then, Louis, you would like to contribute something.
Hi, everybody. I'm a part of the Freedom Snap core team and a very good friend of Seth. I saw Seth on the Andrew Bartz's show, and I said, I need to know more about this guy. I just felt something. And I went to his website and saw that he gave private sessions at a ridiculous, amazing, beautiful price. And then we became friends, and now we realized we need to bring this forth to the world. And I just wanted to acknowledge the people that I see here over and over again. You guys, you're our people, like you get it. I remember Margaret Mead said, never doubt what a small group of people can do to change the world. In fact, that's all that's ever happened. And I wanted to just add, finally, before Seth shares his gift with us and helps us, is that coherence to me, when you study, I studied heart math. I got certified in one of their classes to be an instructor. They're talking about the heart and the brain coherence. For me, the coherence is with that which beats my heart and heals my wounds. And like throughout the day, I'm nurturing and grooming and growing the experience of my connection with all that is. And what Seth has noticed when he does this is that the more you reach for all that is, the more all that is will make all available for us. So the doors open as we practice coherence. And so I just found it great. The other day I was eating a meal, and with every bite, I was like, oh, I bet all that is loving this too, right along with me. So I'm beginning to experience my connection, and that to me is a form of coherence. And with that, I pass it off to you, Greg and Seth, and I am ready to go.
That is awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Louis.
You guys are fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, like for years, it's just, I want to get more and more into meditation. I knew I need to do it, but getting the foundation, learning the foundations and everything, it really hasn't been, one of the things I concentrated on years ago, but, learning more and more of this, for example, the clip that I showed just prior to this, it had the spinal column. I didn't know, there are 33 vertebrae, but at the very bottom, and maybe Seth, you can kind of go into this. I see you're sitting as such, you're sitting on the floor, but is it also to help, that the very bottom of your spinal column with like that tail, when you actually breathe, have it expand and kind of contract as you're breathing, and then, push that spinal fluid up into your brain?
Yeah. So the thing with that is, I feel like it's way more important in the beginning to get people into a personal state of coherence, because as amazing as all that stuff is, you're pulling energy up in through your spine into you, like right into your pineal gland. And that's what activates that piezoelectric sensation. But I like to get people, before they come to that, I'd rather get everybody taking the energy that's in their head, who they think they are, all these stories we tell ourselves of who we think we are. I like to get that energy just kind of leaving the head and dropping into the other body. And that creates like a more holistic state. And that holistic state, your energy field starts to come online. You start to become conscious of it. And once somebody's doing that, then like kind of a more advanced technique, like what he's teaching, because we're so up here, the way of the world has always, for the most part, where the masses are just, I'm me, this is what I do, this is my thing. Like we identify with every single thing except for the thing that is allowing us to be here. So let's do that. I'm going to say a few things, but I want to get everybody just really relaxed first. So wherever you're sitting or laying down, just wholly be at trust, be at peace with wherever it is you are. Let your body relax. Scan from the top of your head right to your toes and just sense if there's anything that's resistance or tense, or just breathe into that, relax it. And if you were able to move through that with little or no resistance, just start to focus on breathing rhythmically. 3 or 4 seconds on the inhale, 3 or 4 seconds on the out exhale, and smile. Smile and let the feeling that your smile creates in you to ripple in and around the whole of your being. Keep breathing rhythmically, totally relaxed. That gentle smile that allows you to feel so grateful that you're here, that you were born into this world, and that we are finding other like hearts and minds to come together and create the type of change we know we're all capable of. We're here, we're doing this. So what I wanted to share with you guys is, just for a moment while you're all relaxed and at peace, consider that your body, this body that you are in right now, it has such an incredibly profound degree of innate intelligence. Like it knows exactly how to keep us alive. And the amount of bioelectromagnetic pulses that are going through our body, it's way more than we're even capable of comprehending. Thus, the need to start developing your perceptual capabilities. So this energy, this innate intelligence it's working miracles in our bodies, whether we're aware of it or not. And so if we can remind ourselves that not only is there a miracle happening in and around us, there's a level of intelligence that exceeds genius intelligence, or exceeds everything. It is so intelligent, and it's what you are, it's what we are, it's what everybody with a beating heart and a head and a brain, and it's in everybody unconditionally. No matter what we think, no matter what the world has done to us or that we've done to the world, or whatever degree of duality we experience in our life, this innate intelligence is doing its work, it's doing its job. And to remind yourself that's there is such a gift and a blessing that you're giving to yourself. Because what happens if you take your intelligence as the person you are since you came into this world, the person who has been subjected to all kinds of belief systems or ideas, whether negative and positive, makes no difference. But our sense of who we think we are has developed as a result of our life experiences. And we all feel disconnected and detached from this miracle. We all feel it. But when you remind yourself to use your own intelligence, your ability to perceive reality just as the person you've been conditioned to be, you can take your intelligence and begin to align it with this profound innate intelligence that expands into infinity. And so just being honest with yourself, just, putting it all together in context. If you keep taking your intelligence and focusing it on this innate intelligence, how long do you think it will be until the two merge together? They're merged together anyway, but what happens when we become conscious of that and we make an effort to get into coherent states that really allow everything to happen inside of us, all around us? And what would happen if we were getting communities of people and all getting together and acknowledging that there's no guru, there's no teacher, there is only life. Life is the best teacher. And it's a simple thing to get in harmony with life in you and around you. But you're retraining yourself. And you're training yourself to recognize that your consciousness, your body is a miracle in action that even the greatest scientific instruments can't even figure out. Find little bits and pieces of it. But we're talking about your intelligence, focusing on this profound innate intelligence. And if you keep doing that, you're going to experience yourself as fully connected to this miracle. Because again, it already is connected, but we've just kind of been focusing on a bunch of other things, which is fine. It's perfect. It's what happened. It's what is. The more we make peace with how we perceive it, the more consciously empowered we become by this intelligence, or by the amalgamation of taking who you think you are and choosing to be and exemplify what you have the potential to be, because it all is miracle. What would happen if we just keep doing this with others? We get all our friends and family and everybody focusing on this unique position and perspective that we all have. And when you create a bridge between the conscious and the unconscious, when you begin to think, feel, behave in harmony to what this miracle represents, what this power is, you literally start to form. It naturally occurs. You have the ability to be aware of your entire body, both all your systems in it and the energy field that is in it and all around it. You create a bridge and a holographic image at some point, if you continue to do this, a holographic image of your entire body, of every single part of it, starts to form, literally begin to start forming a holographic image in your mind, in your body, connected to all these unbelievable glands. And when you start to realize and feel that your body is naturally creating a holographic image that allows you to really monitor your body. Something's out of balance, you can see it in this holographic field that your body naturally projects. And that becomes more natural as we practice. Let's relax a little more. Slow your breathing down. Allow your entire body to just completely be at peace with itself, while at the same time, your senses are hyper aware. It's like a mix between intensity and no intensity. We're going right for those middle parts of how we perceive the world, how we perceive ourselves. So as you're just letting your body relax deeper and you're breathing gentle, rhythmically deep and really gentle. When you do that, your body starts to communicate with you, the person that you think you are, because even if you're experiencing duality or disconnection, that's only an illusion. You, me, everybody is absolutely connected to the infinite nature of their own being. Whether you call that a soul, whether it's you becoming conscious of how you exist in all the different dimensions of quantum space. You are that. We all are. And this illusion that we are separated from it is perfect because we have the ability to become conscious of all the things that maybe we weren't focusing on. And the image, the self-worth, all of the different healthy, vibrant aspects of human nature, and that these bodies have the ability to represent, it all starts coming back. Your natural instincts, your intuition, and your ability to think and feel with emotional intelligence, with calm. This is what we are, everybody. So to be really honest with yourself is to acknowledge your own evolutionary capabilities and your capacity to learn, to be conscious, both expands infinitely and it contracts infinitely. And you get really good at being in the middle of that. That's when all of these things start to happen. The you that you think you are recognizes and wakes up to remember all the different quantum versions of all the potentials that represent your existence here in this body, in this world now. Keep breathing. Just completely relax. But keep your awareness lit up. When you overcome the illusion that somehow you think or believe or was conditioned to feel that you are disconnected from this infinite capacity of you, everything starts making sense. Your whole body starts communicating with all of it. Your nervous system, your organs, your glands, they all start to communicate with each other. But they always have been communicating with each other. The difference is as a result of our work. It gets to be first nature. It gets to be second nature. And as you overcome that illusion that you're separate, oh my gosh. It's like Louis was mentioning at the beginning of this. The more you pay attention to the divine, to your soul, to who you are, embrace it in totality, no matter how wounded or hurt you feel. When you pay attention to this divine, miraculous aspect of bio-electromagnetic fields pulsing through your entire being at the smallest levels and at the biggest. When you pay attention to that, that pays attention to you. And when you get really good at being in such a coherent state from the inside out, you've been honest with yourself, you know that you are this energy, this frequency. And you know that if you keep focusing on it, anything becomes possible. But when you are so calm and so in tune with just your body and the energy that's pulsing through it, you remember everything. Why you came into this world, what your own struggles and joys have been. You begin to see the great equalizer, the part of neutrality that's in the middle. It's in between who you think you are and what you are. And through that state of neutrality, you create the bridge of who you think you are into what you are. And when you cross that bridge and that which you always are and have always been starts paying attention to you, and you're doing this with a whole bunch of others who are doing it at the same time or consistently. Just like Rupert Sheldrake's theory of morphogenetic fields, like all the scientists that have ever studied the 100th monkey effect, we know that it is an absolute reality, that when some of us start to become more and more conscious, we embody a state of being that in its very nature, it is balance, it is coherent, and it affects everybody that you perceive in your life, whether you're right next to them or they're someone that you just heard about and you never knew. The more you begin to embody this recognition that you are a miracle and that you have the ability to live in this world as such, that state of being, that energy influences everybody and everything. And the more we all start doing this together regularly, and we keep doing it without even noticing it, you'll have such a profound and beautiful effect on everybody in your life. And at some point, when do we hit that tipping point? When does that 100th monkey factor start to become manifest in our being, in our consciousness? I personally am so grateful that we're all doing this, that we exist, that if we become in tune enough with this energy that is already there, it's all through us, the more we feel grateful that we have this opportunity to incarnate, to be in these bodies, even accepting the pain and suffering and trauma, even feeling gratitude for that, because you recognize at a deeper level that whatever that is some kind of energy that is intentionally trying to get your attention. How long would it take for the world to change? If enough of us are doing this, we're doing it everywhere, doing it together. At some point, the parts of ourselves that suffer, or we're in a state of suffering, they begin to dissolve because they're just energy. Everything's just energy. And when we begin to train ourselves to just completely trust that everything is exactly how it needs to be, the more we trust that, the more grateful we feel, because we know that we are becoming in coherence with the entire universe, with the multiverse beyond. We are creating coherent fields that are so big. This little tiny planet, or this little view of perception we have, is just, it's so small, it's like a grain. But at the same time, it is so important. But not to the degree that you get stressed out. Just acknowledge it. We love it. Keep breathing. Deep, slow, rhythmically. Put a little smile on your face. You just agreed to be honest with yourself in whatever way that means for you. And by showing up here, you, at whatever level, are saying to yourself, enough is enough. It's time to prioritize the most important priority in all of our lives. And that is this frequency, this energy that is made up of subtle energy fields that are incomprehensible to most of the human species when we're in that state of fight or flight, or we're in that state of toxic ego, you could say. When you're in those states and you're choosing to rise above it, I want to cry, because we finally get to the point and recognize that there is nothing but connection inside us and everything, then that becomes such a source of empowerment that will, bit by bit, over time, become something that we all know we're possible of being. And that might look different to different people where they're at. But if you consider that in a forest, there are networks of tree roots, of mycelia, of mushroom, and they're all totally interwoven with each other. They are completely in tune with the whole of that forest. Doesn't function separately. It functions together. And that entire network of mushrooms and plants and trees, it looks so similar to our bodies. The insides of our bodies are exactly the same, of all these different layers of a natural forest. And rather than a forest with animals and bugs just doing what they're doing to live, they're already in natural coherence with the forest. So then the question becomes, if nature is so in tune with that, and we have the ability to self-reflect to a degree that eventually allows us to be in harmony with our entire being and the trees of life, all the neural networks and pathways of our body can be functioning all at the same time, and we can be with it. So as you honor the natural world and you honor all the neural circuitry and pathways and the brilliance and the sheer magnitude of how miraculous all of our bodies are, just let yourself feel that to whatever degree that you can. Smile gently. Breathe. Continue to breathe. Slow, deep, totally relaxed, and totally aware at the same time. Let that smile light up your heart. Let that smile remind you that you have the capacity to be so in love with life. You have the capacity to be so in tune with the pulse of your life and all life. And just as our bodies become so in sync with the energy that animates us, so too do we as a collective have the ability to be so in coherence that the living, natural, coherent fields of the physical planet that we're on, the infinite intelligence of galaxies, universes that just go beyond human comprehension or name. The more we begin to start becoming in coherence with all of that, let that smile go into your heart. Feel it in your heart, however you can, no matter how great or small, no matter how much you feel it or how much you don't, doesn't matter. You know that you're working and that you're focusing on the most important, the real priority of our existence. Even these words, even the languages that we speak, we're beginning to sense this miraculous part of ourselves. And it's somewhere that words and language, they can point the way. But when we get to the point where we are so in harmony with our heart, our whole body, as we begin to prioritize it, the more empowered we become. And the more empowered we become, the more we prioritize the choice to exercise your awareness, to flex and activate the muscles of perception that we all have access to. And when we focus on that part of ourselves while feeling the pulse in your heart, let that little smile on your face light your heart up and literally allow yourself to feel whatever feeling it is. Remember, we're moving beyond language. We're moving beyond everything, and both individually and together, we're working towards something so profound. And when we begin to have these activation moments or these deeper levels of connectivity, the more our capacity to perceive even greater becomes. So keep that smile in your heart. Let yourself just feel first and think, or don't think if you can. Just let your entire perception of self right now, let it be feeling oriented. Let your perceptual senses feel that you are feeling it, that you are choosing to prioritize being in love with your body, with the life that's pulsing through it. It's a total sensory entrainment, meaning that you are intentionally entraining yourself so that you're able to stay in a state of coherence, eventually, unconditionally. And in the meantime, you're creating this field, this energy, this remembrance, that reconnection to everything and everybody and why it's all happening. The more that comes into our world, it's hard not to love. It's hard not to laugh. If we only were able to fully recognize the majesty, the magnificence, the profundity of just the soul animating the body and all the different types of information that creates. You don't suffer anymore. Things do come up, but you're practicing on being in a state of coherence. And this state of coherence is a lot more predominant than the parts of us that feel disconnected. And so the more we entrain ourselves to be in coherence with our body, the more our bodies become entrained by these great physical and non-physical energies that animate the entire universe. And so no matter what happens in our life, we feel confident, even if we're struggling. because we have reminded ourselves to begin to focus on what we have the potential to be. And the more we return to this natural state of coherence, which is the primary element in life, you could say. Yes, there's chaos, but it's all kept in check by coherence. And that's because the physical universe itself, it's in coherence. It is totally connected together. And when it needs to create, it causes a little chaos. A supernova star blows up, total chaos. Eventually, it all starts to slow down, gets into a state of its own coherence. And this state of coherence, just like a magnet, like emitting a strong electric pulse, a magnetic bioelectric pulse. These energies are that. Keep smiling. Let the love, the gratitude, or the feeling the smile creates in your heart, let yourself really feel that. And as you continue to breathe gently, become aware that there's a constant interaction between your entire body, but there's a really profound connection between the heart and the brain. It's almost like envisioning, kind of like Greg was speaking before about the cerebrospinal fluid. We have cycles inside of us of energies that flow up and they flow down. And even though they're going in two different directions, they are absolutely one. And so there's lots of connecting cables or fine gossamer silk thread that is actually neural pathways, neural architecture, and the ability to amplify the charge of frequency that is already there. Let yourself just feel a connection to your heart, your brain. Let information come from your heart into your brain, and then from your brain back to your heart. If you don't feel it right now, don't even worry about it. Even the envisioning of it, just imagining that it's there, is very much a way to begin to feel and create the stratosphere, to create the living neural architecture and entraining it so that these things that you're imagining at first have the ability to become reality. So it's almost like our imagination seeds the potential remembrance that's already there. Let's spend a few minutes just breathing. I'm not going to say much, but let's all do this. Let's breathe gently like we've been doing, putting that little smile on our face. And then also reminding ourselves that there's a lot of us together right now doing this. And let yourself get excited by that. Because it is incredibly exciting and inspiring. The more we do this inside of ourselves, the more it does. So just breathe with that smile And remember that you're doing this for you, with yourself, and with everybody else in the world. Really relax. Almost like you can let your body go to sleep, but your awareness stays alert. Now that we've created really beautiful coherence inside and around ourselves and together as a community, let the whole of your being feel that to the best degree that you can. And then take your attention, focus behind your throat, between the back of your throat and the top of your head, closer to the center of your brain. Focus on that. And focus it on a way that you're reminding yourself that your efforts are being supported no matter what. Just because you're doing this, the infinite remembrance of your true nature begins to manifest in your personality. And as you're focusing on the back of your brain, middle kind of back of it, between the back of your throat and the top of your head, keep that focus right in there. Feel it. Even if you're not sure what it is in you that is causing the feeling, just let yourself feel it. If you can feel your pulse in this point, that's when the magic really starts having the ability to grow. So if you can feel your pulse in the area that's between the back of your throat and the back of your head, you're focusing on it, or you're feeling it. You're feeling your pulse right there. And even that, you have the ability to get so good at that you'll feel things all through your body, around your body, and you'll feel it in the world, literally. But you'll be doing it from a place of connection, place of you trust life, no matter what life has shown to you, what you've been through. It is being real with you. And when you start to become real with it, and you're able to feel the pulse of your heart in the back of your throat, in the middle of your head, and you are focused on the pineal gland and its piezoelectric properties. It has little crystals in it, tiny geometric crystals. And when you start focusing your attention on that and feeling the pulse of your heart in your pineal gland, those little crystals literally take themselves and they form and they connect and they bounce off each other, and it creates a piezoelectric effect where your body starts to release profound hormones, profound metabolites of things like deep breathing, keep relaxing. As your brain emits hormones, as it emits all these different chemical reactions, these metabolites release things like DMT, something so profound that in essence, it can be viewed as the properties of life itself, because it is creative. And we're choosing to create with it. Allow yourself to just be so relaxed in your body. Feel the pulse of your heart throbbing in your pineal gland. And the more you're able to sense and feel that pulse, the more your awareness begins to amplify the energy that's already there. And when it amplifies, this gland will start sending signals all through your body that you're ready to be awake, but awake in a balanced way. We're not focusing on the fear. We're focusing on a state of being that goes far beyond fear and into knowingness. The knowingness that you are choosing to prioritize, to be conscious of this consciousness in a way that your body and all the systems in it get new electromagnetic charges of frequency that amplify and empower every single part of your body. Keep your attention on your pineal gland. Feel the pulse of your heart. Smile a little bit. Feel the energy that that smile creates in your heart, and feel it in your pineal gland. You don't have to worry about how that might happen. Just do it. Those little instinctual, intuitive reminders of our body and how powerful they have the potential to be. The more we activate that potential, feel happiness, joy, gratitude. Feel it right inside of your pineal gland, or just in the entire center of your brain. You have the ability to feel that part of yourself. And when that part of yourself begins sending information back to your awareness of who you think you are, the more you create that bridge between the conscious and the unconscious. And the more you do that, the more you prioritize it, again, it will begin to prioritize you. Your own intelligence, when focused on the innate intelligence of your body, creates one intelligence. And that is you, right here, right now, in your entire body. Your energy field pulsing through every part of your being. Focusing on the pineal gland and let it do its job. Let it allow you to manufacture the version of reality that you know with your intuition that you're capable of creating. There's already energy all through our entire being. So if you're focused on your pineal gland, let's do what we did again. With that little smile on your face and focus on feeling it right in the pineal gland, right in that part of your head. You don't even need to feel it in your heart. You're so connected that you have the ability to do anything at any moment, but that when you are ready for it. And that might look different for everybody, but it's still there. So if you're feeling your own smile in your pineal gland, you just get into like a little groove. It's like a little song. And it's so interesting because in many ways, it kind of is a song. And of course, the drummer is the heartbeat, the pulse of your life from your very heart. It's the drum beat to the song that you hear or feel. Everything is frequency. It emits sound, most of which are so much higher and so much lower than we have the ability to perceive as of yet. If you can make yourself feel like you almost want to laugh right in your pineal gland, you're laughing, you're feeling that laugh. Your heart's setting the rhythm. Your pineal gland and your attention on it are creating melodies, harmonies with audible and inaudible frequencies. You are choosing to sing the song or harmonize with the song of your very life in a way that allows you to be so interconnected with yourself, with the world, with each other. And we all have the ability to sing the song of our lives, feel it playing, and to let all those beautiful tiny crystals in the pineal gland, let them just groove, let them dance. You're singing the song of your life. You're creating so much harmony that you become conscious of the sounds and feelings of frequencies that there's no way to even explain them. We don't even necessarily need to even try to, because we can feel them. We can create habits like coherence, like getting into these states. So you're smiling right from your pineal gland. You're not taking yourself too seriously. You're feeling the little crystals in your pineal gland jamming to the pulse of your heart. And you know that this pineal gland is emitting highly evolved intelligence, and that you currently are in the process of creating an internal state of being that is so harmonized with it that this gland starts to create even greater frequencies. Almost like antennas, but not human-made ones. You're feeling your body and your pineal gland as something that receives and sends information, intelligence. And you're letting your body just do that. Let it receive the signals that your pulse creates. And let your body emit the energy, the song, the feeling, the knowingness, the trust that it's capable of. Now allow yourself to become a little bit more alert. Continue deep breathing. You can either rub your hands together, create some friction, put the palms of your hand over your eyes, or do some tapping, emotional freedom technique, just tap your face. Every part of your body has muscles and acupuncture points, acupressure points in your face. And also remind yourself, even though we're coming back to this world, as you'd say, we are still fully in tune with these states of being and the potential they have to emit. Let yourself come back, and let's all sit around the campfire together and share stories or talk or anything you guys want to do when you're ready. Greg, you there?
Yes, I am.
How are you feeling?
Calm. Every one of these, I tell you, I was in a zone. I didn't hear you until you said my name. That's funny.
Yeah, that happened. It's
All
a
right.
beautiful thing.
Wow.
And you're going to make all these coherences available to you're going to edit out just the coherence meditation so that people can
Yes.
have access to them, but mostly share them with others, because if we truly understood the nature of morphogenetic field, like I'm told by the quantum model that there's an infinite number of possibilities simultaneously sitting there waiting for us to bring it in. And so the question is, how do we bring it in? And I tell you what, however we bring it in, it's going to be dripping it's going to be through coherence. I know this. It's like I remember people going to Abraham events, and they ask the questions, and the answer is always the same. Abraham says, get into the vortex and then whatever, I mean, it's the same. It's like, and man, if we just, I don't know what that critical mass number is, but when enough people, like I'm getting ready to make a huge batch of sauerkraut right now, maybe 30 quarts. And as I make it, man, I actually feel, I try to make it in the state of, in coherence. Maybe that movie where whatever mood the girl was in, the woman was in, chocolate or something like that. That's what people felt when they ate her food. So I'm going to be the coherent chef. Maybe something, I don't know.
That's great, man. I want to try it. I know you've been working on these for a while. I'm gonna have you send me some. So Nancy just said tonight is the first time I felt my heartbeat. Wait. In her
My pineal. All right.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, I mean, for me personally, like, I just realized I could feel my heart anywhere in my body, and I'm like, wow, I really want to try this out. Like, where can I feel it? And just from doing it a few times, and I don't mean like a few, however many it takes, and continue to do it, you realize the power of that. Because, right, just from a common sense perspective, we're taking our awareness, we're focusing it in whatever part of our body, we're feeling our pulse, and just the amalgam of all these different factors working together create infinity. And we're here to witness it, to watch it. So yeah, I would tell everybody, even if you're not intentionally getting into a meditative state, just try to feel your heart beating anywhere in your body and make a habit out of that, because it'll pay you back infinite fold.
What I realized was that just the very act of paying attention to, of noticing your heart beating, when you're focusing on that, guess what you're not focusing on? Like the 99% of monkey brain, absolutely worthless, no value, no benefit, sloppy, unconscious thinking that we do, just letting the mind go. We just want to start shifting that more to be more conscious, and I think we're going to see some big stuff.
Yeah,
I'm going to do an experiment. I got one of these muses I've had for years. I just found it and I just charged it a little while ago. I'm going to see my frequencies. Oh, you got one too. All right. Cool.
So
Well, anybody else have
saying,
anything to chime in with? Feel free to unmute yourself. Just join right in. Or raise your hand.
Sure. Okay. Can you hear me all right?
Sure can. Hey, Larry. Welcome.
Hi. Yeah, I can just feel a shift, and I'm getting emotional because I bought your book, Seth, Fight to Enlight, because my son is in jail for a similar thing. And just as we're going through this, I'm really realizing, the suffering, the trauma, I'm processing it. And my son's got your book. I sent a copy to him in jail, and he's reading it right now. He just finished the chapter on cosmic court. I think that's where he's at, or he's a little bit past that. But that's what led me here. And I just love that it's it's just it's like evolving, you know what I mean? So thank you so much.
Thank you. I know, it's, as you're saying that, I'm like, I want to smile, but at the same time he's in jail, so I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I know. I know, but it's I just knew. I couldn't shake the I found you on Laura Eisenhower. I have watched you a couple of times with her, and when you mentioned your book, it just kept coming to my mind. I'm like, I got to get that book. I've got to read that book, and I've got to get it for my son. And it's just so it is a bittersweet thing right now, but it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I'm trusting. I'm trusting that it's all going to be okay. It's all going to work out.
Well, we have
And
proof that it's going to be okay because
exactly.
Seth is living proof. He went in
Mhm.
there with serious physical conditions that
Oh,
any average person would have probably not be here right now. And he will tell you that for him, and we're not saying that we should make this a part of everyone's life curriculum, but
right.
for him, that was the greatest thing that ever happened to him because it forced him
Mhm.
to learn this stuff. And so I offer that to you as a context to hold that from a solistic perspective,
Thank you.
from the balcony, from that point of view. How surprised would you be that everybody's life is unfolding absolutely perfectly all the time, always?
Thank you. I do believe that deep down in my heart. I do believe that. And my son does too. He's just, I talk to him about twice a week, once a week, and he's feeling that there's this greater purpose too. So yeah, I know it's unfolding. I
I
know.
know I'm feeling, I'm feeling a little, my
Yeah,
cheeks are a little flushed. Like, thank you for saying that. I really
you're
appreciate it.
welcome. You're
Well, but
welcome.
also
Thank you.
too, like the intention here of me and all my friends that are putting this together is, of course, like who we are individually is so wherever we be, right? No matter how beautiful or no matter how troubled, like we all have different degrees of all of it.
Right.
And
Right.
I'm like,
Absolutely.
okay, if I can just inspire people to listen to them, right? Not me. My words are just like pointing a direction. Sure, if my story helps people, awesome, so be it. I never
Mhm,
actually planned on releasing that book. It happened, you know.
mhm.
But every single one of us are so amazing. We all have unique characteristics that it, it
Yeah.
becomes so amazing. So it's like we're being reintroduced to the part of ourself that has already won. You know, not to hopefully this doesn't sound a little crude.
No, no, when you talk, I just have to say this. Like I told my son, I'm like, oh my gosh, like you and Seth would be friends. I just know it because you remind me of him. Just a lot of similarities. So I'm highlighting your book. I'm sitting there highlighting lines and I'm like, oh my gosh, my son would say that. That's what he would say. like, ah, like you're probably, you know each other on a soul level, I'm sure, as is some way.
Interconnectedness. What
Yes,
we were talking
there
about
is.
last week, you know?
It's there. It's there.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you for
Okay.
that.
Thank you.
That was awesome. Okay. Anyone else? Okay.
Also, too, if you guys like, if you have ideas of specific topics or parts of the body, you can let us know and we can schedule that. I mean, as you probably see, like there's an infinite amount of different aspects of our being and awareness that we can focus on. And so the goal is to get everybody to the point where they prioritize knowing themselves as whatever is causing this to be. And then the combined efforts of us doing it. And who knows how many other communities and cultures and everywhere around the world, there's people celebrating life with joy in their heart. You know, all people who live in Indonesia where, you know, a volcano, even if it doesn't erupt, it can just emit poisonous gas and kill people. And they're celebrating life unconditionally, no matter what. So to remember that, right? To have an attitude of like, yeah, let's choose to rise above all that holds us back. And we're all doing that together.
Speaking of which, Greg, what do people, we're creating a tool, a link that's an invite link that's going to have a short video that Seth is going to, the one that's up there right now is a video that was geared towards a specific group. Now he's got to make it more general, so that these people can start sharing it with friends. It has the mailing list link so they get the email every week. It may have a link to a sample of something so that they can, you know, like if people wanted to start sharing this. And what's great about it is that for me, like when I was in network marketing and I still play with it, or other sales type of tools, is when there's money involved, like there's always like some hesitation sharing stuff with people. But like, this is just free. This is like, come help us create a new world. Oh, I don't want to tell anybody, you know.
Yes, I actually had that link pulled up over on my other monitor here. So anybody that is interested in, I don't think I've showed this before, but it's, well, not on a screen share, but it's freedomsnap.org/Seth. We'll always have that there. Even when we have our social site coming out here, that link will still be there. But it does contain a short intro video with Seth, which he's redoing, as Louis said. But these buttons right down here, add to calendar. If you're on your device, go to this site, click on the add to calendar. It'll add it to your device. It'll probably prompt you which calendar you want to add it to or what have you. I added in here a click here to join our mailing list so that you'll receive these notifications. Ideally, when we do get that social platform up and running, we'll have an events calendar, and that events calendar will automatically notify everyone. So I wouldn't have to, you know, put together, well, Seth and I wouldn't have to put together like a weekly email and probably send it last minute, you know, on a Monday or Tuesday. So it'll automatically notify everyone. But this link down here then in the bottom left is the direct Zoom link. And then of course, our Cosmic Gaia community channel here is on the bottom right with the YouTube. So it'll always be freedomsnap.org/Seth.
Greg, his genius with technology, putting all this together.
I'll wait for the platform. Well, it's going to be awesome once we have that platform. So anybody, incidentally, like I said last week, anybody that would like to stay in a loop, but also maybe even help out, maybe with like our steering committee and get on board, feel free to email us, hello@freedomsnap.org, and we'll pull you in. I don't know how we might just say, hey, you know, let's just launch it, and what's there is there, but we want to have some features on there at the same time, you know, to keep everybody engaged. But obviously we'll have our coherence meditations on there as first and foremost. You know, and like we say, everything begins with here, you know, the coherence. It begins with the inner work, and through the inner work and education brings the freedom.
Jennifer said, how many minutes do you recommend doing this daily? So as many as it takes to start developing a good habit. I mean, you could do it just for 2 minutes at a time, but if you're consistent with it, you do that 2 minutes every day, no matter what, or every few hours, you remind yourself to do it. By the end of that month, roughly, you're going to start feeling the results of your effort. You literally will start to feel not even just your heart beating everywhere. You'll feel how this soul, this energy, this bioelectromagnetic field is just always there. And it's always been there. And the more you focus on it, you breathe on it, the more it just becomes present in your perceptual awareness. And you get to a point where you're almost just doing it all day naturally, because you created that consistent habit. So, I mean, yeah, people should focus on it however much they want. All of these meditations are up here. So if people want to do that, you can hear it. Just remind yourself to do it, to be consistent, even if it's just short little sessions.
Yeah, and there's nothing stopping us from, my plan is that everyone sets their, maybe we make a coherence app or something. Every hour, like a little chime goes off, and it gives us an opportunity, maybe not every hour in the beginning, maybe every 2 hours. And this isn't forever. This is just, see, right now, our default state of mind is matrix, fear-based, separate from each other, disconnected from our creator thinking. That's our default thinking, because that's the paradigm that we were in. So we want to change that default thinking from matrix, fear-based to the new paradigm, or which is probably the old paradigm, or a reoccurring paradigm of
It's a new version of the old.
of love, of interconnectedness. I mean, how could we hurt, scam, or anybody else if we experience the interconnectedness between us all? And like I said, set your alarm to go off every 2 hours, and when it goes off, do a systems check. Do like, am I conscious? Was I monkey brain? Was I coherent? You know, and then you have a moment to, and that constant kicking the tire straight throughout the day will eventually become a habit. It'll eventually become your default state. That's what I'm working on right now, by the way. It is not my default state right now. So many times throughout the day, I wake up and I go, holy shit, I was just unconscious for 2 hours, like monkey brain, thinking about this problem, my bank account, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, wow, that is a tough little puppy to train right there, I got to tell you, but it's worth it. Right, Seth?
It pays you back infinite. It's priceless. Well, yeah, if you guys
Awesome
have
closing, I think.
right.
Yeah. So anything else? Okay.
Let's keep thinking of each other to the best of you guys' ability. Like, until next week, try to like remember this, and that we're doing this together, and what that could represent. We'll create our own little neural network, our own little ecosphere based upon everything we've been sharing.
Awesome. Well, with that said, thank
And
you
my-
everyone for attending.
My parting words, namaste, which is like who I really am. Who I really am is coherence and connected to all that is. Who I really am sees and recognizes and acknowledges who you really are. All right. So I'm actually working the namaste as a verb. I want to namaste everybody. Bring, like it. And if you can't namaste, then you should probably namasko. Those are my final words.
Oh man, I love your sense of humor. It's fantastic.
Love it. Love it. All right, guys. Thank you. We'll see everyone next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Have a great one. Take care, guys.
Good night, everybody.